All right, so the story came up. Um, so, um, so I apologize. I forget what we were even talking about, but there was this kid who lived in the neighborhood. His name was Danny, and he was cool. There was one time I went to hang out with him. My father dropped me off. Even though it was like literally, I could have just walked there, but um, I was in an age. I was like 10 or 11 years old or something. So I don't know. He wanted to drive me down the street to. So anyway, I go there and his family's having a cookout. I used to go over there. We'd play Odd World on his PS1, whatever. And he he had a cousin Billy. Uh, and Billy was, I don't know what other word to use. I'm not trying to be offensive or anything. I don't know what other word to use. He was retarded. Um, I don't know what his exact problem was, but he was slow. So he had a problem. Anyway, he he fucked his mother one time. Uh, which is yeah, which is fucked up. There's no other way to put it. That's fucked up. He didn't understand what he was doing. His mother, I don't know why she didn't like do anything about it. But anyway, there's a joke that my brother used to make. It's him and his friends, and they were like, 20 deep. My brother had a lot of friends growing up. I had like three in the neighborhood. Anyway, in our neighborhood, my brother had a lot of friends, and they all made this joke like, "Oh, Billy, oh, Billy," and I didn't get it at the time, but obviously, like later on, I was like, "Oh, okay, now I understand." So yeah, so that happened, and that's pretty fucked up. Um, and this came up because I was talking to a friend, and a bunch of us were talking. We were having this conversation. People were throwing like random hats into the ring, and um, for some reason I remembered this. I don't know why, but yeah, that came up, and so now I'm remembering like the whole fucking like all it takes is like a little tangent, and then you start remembering all kinds of little details of shit. So this kid and his cousin Danny, um, they used to hang out with my brother and his friends. I have no idea why, because they were a different age group, and I was even younger than them. My brother is obviously older. He's my older brother. He's older than me. So him and his friends, um, they had a fort out in the woods. So basically, if like if I go around the corner over here, like from my house, um, there's like a Home Depot and a Jordan's Furniture there and shit. It used to be different back in the 90s. Um, if you go around the corner, there's these people's. I'm not gonna use their name, um, but two, well, three people who grew up with my brother, but the younger sister wasn't really like part of the pack. She obviously wasn't one of the boys. She's a nice girl, really nice person, but she wasn't one of the boys. So the other two, her older brothers, they grew up with my brother, and they were all best friends. They were all the same age group, everything, and there were more people. There were a ton of people in this neighborhood that were friends with my brother, and so if you go in their backyard, and usually what we would do is we'd sneak, like, because their grandparents live right next door, so you'd sneak like down the side of their yard and kind of sneak back that way. And there was a bunch of woods, and they'd go on and on and on, until you reach Textron. Uh, there was a Textron facility, but it would take you a long time to get to that. But like you'd have gone through like all the woods that there is. Like it would take you a long time to get there. Some of us got there, me and my friends, and we'll get to that. But um, yeah. So basically, um, you go through the woods. There's a little creek, um, and you gotta cross it. So what my brother and his friends did was they laid down a bunch of logs. They cut down some logs and they laid them down so you get across. Billy, being the fucking idiot that he was, well, no, that's mean because he actually had like some mental problems on it, and I don't like to, oh, excuse me, um, say that people have mental problems, but like he did actually have like a condition that there was something wrong with him. Um, So we're all trying to cross one day, and like he falls off the log and falls into the water. He's like, "Oh, guys, I gotta go home." And then me and Danny and the rest of us are like, "Oh, fuck, all right." So now what we're trying to do is we're trying to get to this little shack that my brother and his friends built, where they hid beer and porno mags. So yeah, obviously we're a little disappointed, Billy, that you like, can you just like walk around in wet jeans for a while? Is it that big of a deal? Because we're making the fucking trip out here we're making the pilgrimage to, to get to our like older siblings' stash of. Come on, man. But yeah, we ended up turning around anyway. Uh, yeah, there was like there was like we went there a few times, and later on, I brought my friends who were my age because they were both older than me. I ended up bringing my friends out there, and yeah, let's go explore in the woods, okay? Um, but yeah, that particular time we had to go back. Like whatever, fuck it, okay. And it was a pretty simple layout. Like it was just a box, and there were like a couple benches, and then like they'd hide the porno mags and the beer like under the benches. That's how it was laid out. And it wasn't anything spectacular. There weren't any like posters up or anything crazy. It wasn't like it was literally just like a shack that they built. Uh, we used to go there and we'd hang out. This was like before weed, before cigarettes. We just kind of go there and just be like, oh, this is a cool place to hang out. That's like out of the, you know, uh, removed from everything else because you got to go walk through like miles of woods to get there. And so that was cool. And we go there and yeah, it was cool. There were different sections of like that wooded area. So you sneak through the grandfather's backyard, and then you finally make it into the woods, and then you gotta worry about this fucking other asshole who he like the neighbor of the neighbor of the neighbor. I mean, he'd set his dogs out and be like, "What are you doing out here?" And like, well, dude, it's just a bunch of kids walking through the woods. What the fuck? What? Calm down. And there's a creek that runs like right along, like right next to that guy's house. So you'd have to walk along that, and then eventually you'd take a turn. So the creek would turn as well, but that's where the bridge was. And then you could cross the bridge, a bunch of logs just laid down in the water, and there'd be a rope. And that's where Billy fell in. And yeah, we used to think that was so scary. It's like it's really not. It's not a big deal at all. But keep in mind, I was like 10, 11 years old. So we crossed that, and then we start getting into the weird shit. There's like all these weird plants and stuff. This is, keep in mind, this is like, yeah, I know there's people all over the world who like, but to us, like, this was weird because there were like weird plants. There was like weird growth all over the place that we didn't understand at the time. So we were freaked out. We considered that strange. And then there was the tall grass area, and if you go up the tall grass, there was a hill. If you go up the hill, then you end up at Textron, and there's like construction trucks moving around and shit. And it was just like, what the fuck? What did we walk into? So we didn't even bother. The first time we encountered that, we didn't even bother with that. So you get across the bridge, and then like you're coming along, and there is a trail, a little bit of a trail, because it was made by my brother and his friends who fucking went through there all the time. And then there's the shack. And you get to the shack, you're like, all right, cool. No bee's nest, no fucking weird shit going on. It's literally just a wooden shack out in the woods. And we got porno mags, we got beers. So we're hanging out there. And yeah, that's cool. And you can keep going even further, but I forget what the fuck even was. Like, I don't even remember what else. Like, the wooden shack was basically the point that we were trying to get to, so I don't even remember what the fuck else was. The fields I'm talking about that led to Textron were, like, off to the side. So, I don't even remember what the fuck else there was. We never ran into any fucking weird animals or any shit like that. Who are you and what are you doing? If you don't know Amy, get the fuck out of here now. Yeah, it's a dead end, bud. Yeah, figure it out. Go wherever you're going. I'm trying to tell a story here. Go wherever you're going. Let's do it. Let's get it done, bud. Let's go, Brandon. All right. Yeah. So, yeah, but just that. I'm basically done here. I'm done talking about this. But like this whole story came up because I like to tell stories, and I, this somehow came up, and my brother used to joke. He used to be like, "Oh, Billy, oh, Billy," and I didn't. I was too young at the time to understand like what what was going on there, like what that meant. But I guess my brother was in the house at the time. I wasn't there. He just him and his friends would joke about it and be like, "What are you talking about? What does that mean?" Oh, Billy. Oh, yeah. I'm like 10 or 11 years old. I don't understand what the fuck they're talking about. I mean, that's fucked up. Like that really it's like with the Chris Chan shit too. Like that's pretty fucked up. But you can't help but laugh a little bit. Like I'm sorry. I've I might be the most desensitized person on this earth. I'm sorry. You can't help but laugh a little bit at how fucked up that is. Yeah, it's wrong, but it's still kind of you'd have to you'd have to look into you'd have to understand what I understood in that case. And then in like Chris Chan's case, you'd have to understand what you'd have to actually look into what happened to poor fucking Barb. That's fucked up. It is. I don't know how you get to that point. Um, maybe being lonely, or I wouldn't even know. Like that's your mother. You don't respect your mother enough to not. Yeah, I don't know how. I don't know. I don't even know how the fuck that happened. In either case, I don't know. I don't know how the fuck that get like. How old do you have to be to not be like, no, this isn't right? I don't really. Excuse me. Yeah, yeah, the Chris Chan thing especially. I don't understand how the fuck that happened. I don't know. Barb was just like, all right, yeah, let's do this. I think she just I don't want to get too into it. I think she like feels bad that he can't find somebody in his life or something. But then again, then on your part that's fucked up. I don't know. But anyway, this story came up because something I forget what it even was reminded me of this story of just this fucking kid Billy. I, it's not even. He was just. It doesn't even. It's not even like the whole thing about it, like him fucking his mom. It's just like he was just a fuck up, completely. And I hate using the word retarded, but there was something mentally wrong with him. I don't go by the DSM. I don't. I don't do that shit. No, we're not playing that game. No, no. DSM can run, you know, the fucking mill on you. No, DSM is fucking bunk. And the guy has nothing to do with anything. But this kid actually did have some sort of deficiency, some mental deficiency. And I'm not trying to make fun of him. I doubt he's doing okay nowadays because this was in the 90s. Um, but Jesus Christ, I don't even know what else to. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much your story. Yeah, that's all I got. All right, because I wouldn't even know how to go on about this. He clearly had a problem, and